Hey, Shelli, Pelly, Annie Parker Confidential. All right, today I want to do something a little bit different than what we normally do. Now, usually I keep politics completely off of this channel, and it's not because I have my head in the sand, because I do not. It is because I want this channel to be a respite for women to come and have peaceful, fun, conversation, entertainment, learn a little something, and take it away. This does not fall under politics because, look, gender equality, equal pay for equal work shouldn't be a political issue. This is simply something that we as women need to talk about. In my opinion, there are two things that are really at work impeding us as women from having equal pay and equal economic opportunity, not only in the workplace, but in life in general. Not only, I think, have we become jaded to it, but we were all, if you're on this earth right now and you're watching this, we have all been born into a system that discriminated against us as women, whether it was the inability to even be considered for certain jobs, but certainly the ability to be paid equally for those jobs. There are two things at work that you need to be aware of. One is the gender pay gap. 83 cents on the dollar is about the going average of what women are paid versus men for equal work. Number two is something called the pink tax. I thought most people had heard of this. When I mentioned it to my friends, they looked at me like I had a third eye. They didn't know what it was. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. But those two elements work together to form the perfect storm that really impedes the vast majority of women from achieving any kind of economic parity with their male counterparts. And not only does it start from the time that we're little girls, it follows us all the way into retirement. And I'm going to show you how. Let's talk about the gender wage gap. This year, March 31st was Equal Pay Day. Equal Pay Day is how far into the new year a woman has to work to earn what a man made the previous year. At that current rate, it will take us as women until 2059 to achieve any kind of parity with men. If you're earning 83 cents on the dollar, that follows you into Social Security, because since Social Security pays you based off of what you made during your work life, a woman would then receive smaller Social Security payments. So not only did you learn less than what you were due, less than your male counterparts during your working years, you are now earning less during your retirement years if you depend even in part on Social Security. Not fair. Okay, so how does that really add up? What does that mean? Let's talk brass tacks. If a woman earns 83 cents to the dollar, that adds up to about a $10,435 gap in median wages every single year. By the end of her career, a full-time working woman will have lost out on about $417,000 worth of income. Let me repeat that. $417,000 worth of income just from the gender gap. These are calculations done by an organization called the Center for American Progress. That group calculated if all of the money lost out on via the gender gap were invested, it would boost a woman's retirement income by $1.6 million. Think about that. That really hits home. It hit home with me. If you just took the money that you lost out on by being a woman and invested it based off of, I think they used a 6% annual rate of return, it would boost your income retirement by $1.6 million. Not only should we care about it as women for other women and for ourselves, but if you're a man, you should also care about it. One, aside from the fact that you just want to be a decent human being. Two, if you're married, it affects your family too. Your wife could be contributing an extra $1.6 million to the joint kitty. That's a big deal. Here's what's even worse, and this really bothered me. The $417,000 calculation is for Caucasian women. Guess what happens when you're a woman of color? It's worse. For women of color, for African American women, the loss was $944,000. And for Latina women, it was worse, $1.1 million and some change for Latinas. I don't know about you, but it's infuriating all the way around for every single one of us. Here's what you can do. The more of us that talk about it, the better it is for us. Forward this video to all of your friends who you think would be interested. Post this video to your Facebook. Ask women to watch it and ask them to comment below. The more of us that talk about it, the louder we are, the better it is for every single woman across the board and for future generations. Of your little 83 cents, we are now actually charged a pink tax. The pink tax is the tendency for a lot of products marketed specifically toward women to be more expensive than those marketed to men. They also call it the lifelong cost of being a woman. And it starts when we're little kids. From girl children's toys that, other than the color, were no different than those meant for boys, but were more expensive. And I'm showing you over here these scooters. I believe they were from Target or Walmart. Both the same exact scooter. One is marketed to little girls, one is marketed to little boys. The scooter marketed to little girls is $20 higher than the one marketed to boys. Little girls' clothes, more expensive than little boys' clothes. That shouldn't shock you. Female brand razors with the same number of razors in it. Shaving cream that for all intents and purposes is pretty much the same. We as women pay a lot more for the exact products that men buy also throughout our lifetime. On average, women pay $20 more for a pair of Levi's than men do. I went onto the Levi's website today. As you can see, I have 2 pairs of the exact jeans, 501 originals. The men's I think is $69. The women's start at $89. $20 more for 501 Levi originals. Now, if you just look at both product pages, all of the women's jeans start at a higher price point than men. They're anywhere from $89 to $108. Go to the men's section, virtually all of them start at $69. Think of that. That chips away even more at our 83 cents. So not only do we start lower, but now because of systematic pricing that make women's products more expensive than men, it grows even higher and higher and higher. And now what happens? Well, you have less money to live on and you have less money to invest. And when you have less money to invest, it means that you don't have money to grow with you throughout your lifetime and to plan for your retirement or just for your lifestyle. Maybe you want to buy a home and not be dependent on somebody else. Maybe you also would like to build your own financial security, just like a guy can. This is eroding at our ability to do that. The report concluded that over a lifetime, we as women pay 7% more for the same products than men do over our lifetime, just by the virtue of being a woman. Men's haircuts much less expensive than a woman's haircut. The answer that most stylists will give you is, well, it takes longer to do a woman's haircut. A woman's haircut is more complicated. That doesn't really stand to reason. Because if you're talking about pricing something based off of, length of hair or the complication of the style, then it should be based on that, not on gender. Ever heard the term pink it and shrink it? I hadn't either until I started reading about this. It's apparently a very well-known marketing term, which basically means taking any product, making it pink, making it smaller, marketing to women, and jacking up the price. Here's something interesting. Do you drink LaCroix or Croix? My sister teases me. She says it's LaCroix, whatever it is. It's bubble water that I like. I've always been drawn to these nice slim, the tall, slim cans of LaCroix because it fits better in my hand. And for whatever reason, I am always drawn to those slim cans and I will buy those. My husband, on the other hand, likes the short, fat ones because it fits better in his hand. I know it sounds really weird, but that's what marketing's about. Marketing's about a lot of psychology and a lot of what we just naturally tend to be drawn to. The slim LaCroix cans, which I fully believe are more marketed toward women because we are naturally drawn to it. It fits better in our smaller hands. Were $18 for 12 cans. The fat ones that probably men like more were $15. Dry cleaning. CNBC had conducted a large study on this entire pink tax. And as one of the elements, 2 of their reporters, a male reporter and a female reporter, went in independently to different dry cleaners, both with the same type of shirt. On average, the man was charged $2.85. The woman was charged $7 and some change for the same cotton shirt that was smaller because it was a woman's shirt. When they approached many of the dry cleaners, they said, well, the dry cleaning presses that iron the shirts were sized for men's shirts, not women's. They have to be hand ironed, which takes more labor. Okay, well, think about that. Their equipment is made for men's clothing. So because of that, we are punished because they have to do it by hand. It seems like, okay, well, what can you do? What are you gonna just fight the entire world? No, but knowledge is power. And when you're aware that something is going on, you can kind of key in on small changes and small things that you can do in order to mitigate some of the damages. So perhaps next time you go to the grocery store, instead of picking up the package of pretty pink razors, grab the men's razors. Instead of the pretty pink shaving cream that smells like flowers, just grab the men's shaving cream that's probably less expensive. And look, it's not because you can't afford to buy the shaving cream. It's more making it a point. If we keep buying into the I want it pink and I want it to smell good and I'm willing to pay more, they'll keep doing it. If every single one of us stopped buying the expensive shaving cream, and I'm using that as an example, bear with me, and only bought the least expensive men's shaving cream, well, guess what would happen? Over time, the whole idea of this pink tax, pink it and shrink it, would begin to dissipate. And I fully believe that, because the way that you make positive change a lot of times is by hitting companies in the pocketbook. That's how you do it. Okay, ladies, that was my 2 cents. Okay, that was my 3 cents. But I want to know what you think. What do you think about what we talked about today? Be sure to comment down below in the comment section. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please consider doing so. And I'll see you next week, where we'll talk about more style, beauty, and wellness. Talk to you soon. Bye.